What's up, guys? It is Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. The weekend is here for me, unless I fucking get called into work. For those of you that are new to the channel, if there's anybody new to the channel, this is what we've been working on. It is a 96 Civic that I paid $500 for. We have bent, welded, notched, completely made this roll cage from scratch. And we are currently working on mounting the seat, which we made this guy. So that's what we're going to try to do next is finish this up and get the seat mounted, and then we got a little bit of welding to do up here. I got to knock it out. And then I think we're going to start on all-wheel drive stuff. I think I'm going to go ahead and make the jig for the trailing arms. That's the goal this weekend, is to get the trailing arms jigged up. I'm still on the fence a little bit about, I definitely want to make tubular rear trailing arms. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure you know the all-wheel drive craze is real right now. This is the trailing arm right here. Oh man, it's just fucking great lighting. That's the trailing arm. And we got to get an axle to get in there. So I've got some Wago van rear trailing arms that I got from the junkyard because I scored and found a complete Wago van in a junkyard nearby. I got like all my all-wheel drive stuff for like $200. But the Wago van arms are longer and they won't fit. You got to cut them and get them to fit. So I ordered a bunch of stuff, adjustable rear toe and camber arms and stuff, and a suspension, the whole 9 yards. And what a lot of people do is they'll either cut the factory rear trailing arms up and use like Honda Insight hubs and just kind of, you know, make a plate and weld it behind all this. That way the axle can fit in there. Then you have to do some jacking around with your shocks because then the axle hits your shocks. Other people just shorten up the wagon arms, which I was honestly going to do, and I might still do, just because I have them, and then I might sell them. And it might not work. But what I really want to do is build a tubular, just completely from scratch control arm, because I think maybe if I could get, you know, if it works out, maybe I could sell them. I know they're a hot commodity right now, and the guys that make them, they do an awesome job. Hub City Performance does, you know, their shit's on the fastest cars out there. Not trying to take any business away from them by any means. Buy your shit from them if you can buy your stuff from them. They build awesome stuff. But I know, you know, they just sell them and sell them and sell them. So I was thinking maybe I could come up with my own design. I definitely don't want to copy theirs by any means. Maybe I could come up with my own design, and if it worked, maybe I could sell them. The American dream, right? So I'm anxious to get the seat knocked out and done since I started on it. I'm going to get it knocked out, and then I'm going to move on to knocking out these welds, and then maybe rear trailing arm stuff, hopefully. If I don't get drunk and wind up hungover all weekend. So, let's get started. Alright guys, I'm back. I got everything we needed. Got some tube, and some flat bar, some fucking Red Bull, and some fucking propane, thank God. I know, you know, 30 degrees isn't nowhere near as cold as like fucking 10 degrees where 110 of them are out there weathering it out. if you ain't used to this shit, this is fucking cold. It ain't supposed to be this cold down here. All right, so what we're gonna do is, the way this laid out is, lo and behold, the center of the mounts in the car are not actually the center line where you need to sit, where the steering wheel is going to be centered off of. It's actually over an inch. So it works out perfect because I have about an inch of play in here. I'm going to, we're going to put a bracket right here. And then we're going to put a bracket right here. I don't know if you can see that right here. But in order to do this, I'm going to put another tube in right here. That'll signify the end of this bracket. And then we'll gusset in the front, and gusset in the back, gusset in this side, gusset in this side. And then I'll actually mount through the tube. I'm going to drill a hole through the tube, run a bolt up, and then do it like that. And I think it's going to work out a lot better, and it'll be bolted through the entire frame instead of just through the gusset. So that's where I'm at with it, and we'll get to work. Alrighty, so I'm gonna show y'all something I just figured out. I've had my welder for it's an Everlast PowerTig 250EX. I've had it for like probably 4 years now. And I always knew it had a pulse setting, but I just never really jacked with it. I was like, once I get better at welding, I'll learn how to play with it, because I want to try to learn the basics first. I've been fighting this thing because I'm welding such thick metal right here. You can't really tell. Such thick metal to such thin metal, and you need the amperage high enough for the thick metal, but you got to keep your heat on the thick metal, otherwise you'll burn through the thin metal. It's been a pain in my butt the whole time. So I decided last night, I was like, man, I'm gonna try to figure out the pulse settings on it. them things are fucking, they're rad. I've kind of got it half-assed dialed in, and what I'm doing here is, I don't know if you can see it, but I got a filler rod stuck in there and tacked in on each end. It's one of these guys, because I got a pretty decent sized gap there. And then I'll still use filler rod and dab it as I go. But I'll show you, I'll try to weld this one. Hopefully I don't fuck it up. I'm not a professional welder by any means. But I'll try to weld this one, and I'll show you a weld without pulse and a weld with pulse. I'm pretty pumped about figuring it out and getting it set up right. Alright, so my camera isn't that good, so you're probably not going to be able to tell. And both welds are shit. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying look at these cool welds. I'm not a very good welder. But this was without the pulse. I know it looks like shit in real life. It doesn't look that bad. And this was with pulse. It's quite a bit more uniform. Man, that thing looks terrible on camera. Alright, I'm not showing any more welds on camera. But you get the idea. It's a lot more consistent. I'm not moving around the pedal as much, and it just seems like you can also tell too, this was with the pulse. There's not near as much heat in the material as there is without the pulse, which makes sense because you're not putting as much, you know, amperage into it all the time. It's just pulsing the amperage on and off. So anyway, I thought I'd show that. I thought it was pretty cool. I got to run these little welds around these corners and then tap the holes, and then drill and tap these holes and these holes, and then paint this motherfucker, and I'll be done with it, and I can move on to cooler shit. All right, the seat bracket is done other than being painted. I only have these back bolts in it right now. I still have to drill the holes for however I want it reclined, but I don't want to do that yet until I get the steering wheel mounted where I can get, you know, my arm length right as far as reclined. I've test fit it in the car, you know, as I was mounting it to the bracket about 10 times. I'm 99% sure this is the perfect spot for my lanky ass. Which I kind of knew it from the beginning before I ever built the cage. I set the seat in the car and kind of shimmed it up where I wanted it, and got, you know, figured out exactly where I wanted it. That way I knew where to put the harness bar. I'm real tall, and so when I sit in this chair, my shoulders are, you know, the harness is going to come through here and kind of go up onto my shoulder. So if you'll notice here in a minute, I'll test fit it in the car. But the harness bars, you know, it's way up here. Normally you would want it, you know, kind of level. Well, for me, that's level. So there's been a ton of thought that's gone into it. It's fucking awesome. I mean, I can't tell you how badass it came out. The camera doesn't do it justice. And then I got me some jazzy little panhead or Allen head screws or bolts so they don't jab my fat ass. I also have nylon locking nuts that'll go on here, and then on those bolts that are tapped that run through, the 4 of the 8, they'll have lock nuts on them too. I tapped it, and then I'm gonna do the lock nuts. It's super overkill. I mean, it's the whole thing I went way overboard on. If you look at you know, universal seat brackets, like I bought a Sparco steering wheel and I was looking at the Sparco seat brackets. They're just basically like 16 gauge sheet metal that's just braked over, and then, you know, it's got some holes drilled in it. So, and it makes sense because if you're drag racing like I am, or any kind of racing for the most part, normally if you hit something or the car rolls or something like that, the harness is going to keep you in place, and you're on top of the seat, so the harness is going to keep the seat in place too. I'm not worried. It's not like I'm bolting the harness to the seat or anything. I'm going to make special mounts. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to make probably plates to bolt the harness to. That way I know my fucking fat ass ain't going anywhere if it rolls. But like everything I do, it's way overkill. So now I'm gonna throw it in the car and sit in it and make race car noises, and then probably pull it all back apart and take it outside and paint it. And then I'm gonna get started on tearing these rear trailing arms off. I'm procrastinating on welding up these plates. I don't know why. I know it's gonna piss me off and take a while, so I don't know. I might do it. We'll see. Alrighty, so I'm painting the bracket out there. Kind of cleaned up in the shop here, in the garage, just in the shop. I'm gonna pause my music here. We got some mail yesterday. We were supposed to get some mail today, but I think my shady ass postal man didn't want to pull around my wife's car because I got it parked out there by the street. So if you ever see this postal man, fuck you. Anyway, these came in. Hard race rear trailing arm bushings. I was gonna get the blocks, spherical ones, but I really wanted to be able to measure the OD on these because I want to be able to get a tube that I can press them into if I decide to make like full tubular trailing arms, which I want to do. But man, I got to looking last night, and it would be a specialty tube. The ID would have to be, you know, just about the same as these to be able to press them into it. And for like 2 foot of it, it's like $80. But, you know, if it'll work, then that might be the route I go. Either that, or I can get a something that has a little bit smaller ID and take it to like a machine shop and have them stick it on a lathe and turn it. It would probably be the better way to go, and it'd probably be cheaper. But dealing with people around here, machine shops and stuff, it's just a pain in the ass. So we got those, and shout out to Young Static for these right here. I saw them on his video. They're super cheap, and they're super good quality. Like I'm pumped about how nice they are. I've got the toe arms on the way too. With making our own shit back there, we really need to be able to adjust it because there's no way to make sure it's 100% square dead on. And then this isn't very interesting. It's just brake springs. I ordered a set of rear calipers off of an Integra to put on here. They haven't come in yet. I gotta get a pair of e-brake cables, even though I don't think I'm gonna even have e-brake cables on the car because I'll have a staging brake. But if I make tubular ones, I want to be able to put the brackets on there for them. So I'm probably gonna have to pony up and go I don't think there's any at the junkyards around here. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna finish painting this guy and then we'll go from there with it. Hey, I got Shades Wade on the live chat in the garage, so.
So what's up? I got you on camera. What up, MegaSpool? From the fucking neighborhood Jesus. Straight from O'Reilly, home edition, motherfucker. You're looking at floor jackets. $59.99, lifetime warranty. Come on down to O'Reilly, get your shit.
Oh, I love it.
Oh shit, man.
If you don't ever get in on these fucking live chats with this dude, do it. He does it almost every night. It's well worth it. It's the best. It's the most valuable thing you can do with your time, other than work on your car. So, I'm gonna get back to. I'm gonna try to pull these rear trailing arms off and chat with this fool, and hopefully we get enough done to make a fucking video tomorrow. Alright guys, so I got the rear trailing arms stripped down. They're ready to get jigged up. It's probably going to be it for this week. I need to go inside and try to edit this video and get it out. That way I can have a video out this week. Content is better than no content. We got the seat bracket done this weekend. I got one box half-ass welded. I gotta get some more wire, clean all that crap up. And we got a couple parts in. Next weekend I'm gonna weld up the other box and definitely gonna try to get these things jigged up. Probably gonna make, just shorten up the waggle arms for right now until I can figure out how to make a race for the compliance or the rear trailing arm bushing to sit in for like tubular ones. I still haven't figured that out yet. I'm sure I will though. So I'm gonna clean up and edit this video, and I will see y'all next weekend.